Hello folks, this is your boy Ace the Mastermind Caribbean. I am here with world famous cricketer and manager of the West Indies cricket team, Richie Richardson. How are you doing today, sir?
Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
So, I have a couple questions to ask you today with this epic backdrop here. Yeah, so
Antigua nice.
Yeah, Antigua's been really nice. I've been enjoying it here, the carnival and everything. So my question to you, for those who don't know about cricket, can you explain what cricket is, the sport of cricket? You know, it's more than, because there's cricket the bug and then there's cricket the sport.
Well, cricket is a game. I think it was created by the British people. You have 11 players on each side. Traditionally, they all wear white. The object of the game is you have a batting team and a fielding team. You spin a coin and decide who. If you win the toss, you can decide whether you bat first or you bat second. And you go into bat. The team that wins goes into bat. The object is to score as many runs as possible. And the object of the fielding team is to restrict them as much as possible and to try and bowl them out. There's several ways of bowling somebody out. You can, if you hit the stumps, you bowl the ball. In baseball, you pitch. In cricket, we bowl with a straight arm. Hit the surface and then bounce before you hit the stumps. You hit the stumps out. If the batsman hit the ball and he's caught in the foot, as in baseball, that's an out as well. You can also be run out. You know, when you hit the ball, you got to run between the two sets of stumps to get the runs.
Yeah.
Cross once, that's one. Cross twice, that's two. If you hit the boundary, that's four. If you go full over the boundary, like a home run in baseball, that is 6 runs. Now, whilst running, if a fielder catches the ball or picks the ball up and hit either stump before either batsman get in there, then that person is run out.
Oh, the wicket.
Yeah, the wicket, right? There's also another way of getting out, which is called LBW. Is that if the ball is about to hit the stump and you let the ball hit your pads or your legs, because you put pads on, because the ball is very hard, much harder than the baseball, right? And if when you're playing, the ball hits your pad and it's adjacent to the stumps, then you can be given out LBW as well. So you've got to make sure that you make contact back with that ball as often as possible. Now, there's 11 players per side, as I mentioned. When 10 wickets have been taken, the team that's been batting is now out. And the team that was on the field goes into bat. Right? And in a test match, which is over 5 days, you have 2 innings. So each team bats twice and fields twice.
Oh, similar to baseball in that aspect.
Right, but in other formats of the game, which are more exciting and shorter, like you have a 50-over match, which is 1 innings per side, and you have a 20-overs match, which is much shorter. That's usually a 20-over match will last about 3 hours. A 20-over match will last for about 8 hours. But a test match, which is the ultimate, lasts for 5 days.
Matthew told me all this information about cricket because in my travels here to Antigua, my family members and my cousins used to play cricket. And when I first started playing cricket, being that I'm from the United States, I had to bat up here. In cricket, you hold the bat down there.
Yeah, you start down there, and as before the bowler releases the ball, and you pick your bat up and get ready to hit the ball, depending on where the ball is bowled. In America, you say where the ball is pitched. Then you decide, you can play defensive, you can play attacking, you can hit the ball along the ground, or you can go for a home run, hit for 6.
So 6 points is the maximum that you could score.
Yeah, 6 runs. Yeah, that's like a home run. You can hit the ball. Actually, you can if you hit the ball along the ground, and you can run cross between the wickets more than 6 times, you get that. You can get 7 or 8, but that's highly unlikely because the fielder will have got into the ball before you run. The most that usually they'll run 3, depending on how the field is set. Sometimes the field is brought right in, and if you hit the ball deep, then they've got to go. The fielder's got to go and fetch the ball, and in the meantime, you can run 3. Excuse me. Now there's something called overthrows. So if you've run 3, and then the ball comes back in, and the wicketkeeper or the catcher at the stump fails to catch it and goes passing, and you can run again. So you get extra runs like that.
So, on average, how long does a cricket game last?
Well, a test match is over 5 days, from starting at 10 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the evening, over 10 days. And you have every day there's like 2 breaks. You have, you have, after every hour, there's like a little drinks break. You have a little water or rehydration fluids and stuff like that every hour. And then you have, after 2 hours, you have lunch for 40 minutes. And then you play for another 2 hours, and then you have a tea break where you have snacks, tea or whatever you want to have, and then you play for another 2 hours again. So like in a day you play 6 hours in a test match, and that's over 5 days. Then you have what we call a 50 over match, which is played over 1 day period, 2 innings per side, and that's usually about 7 hours duration. Then you have a 20 over match, which is like 3 hours. Each team bats fields 20 overs.
So it varies depending on what kind of game.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally it was test matches from way back, and then recently to change the game to create more excitement, they invent the 50 over, and now they have the 2020, which is very, very popular. It's the most popular format of the game right now because it's short, it's quick. It's 3 hours. You can go to work and then go, in the evening and watch the game for 3 hours, and it's usually very exciting. It's very high pace. The test match can be very boring. You can be there for like 2 hours and nothing happening. Everybody's playing like you're playing chess. There's
no excitement.
And then suddenly there's excitement. And some people like that. It's like chess. The 2020 is like fast paced all the time. Every single delivery is excitement. Most people like that, and a lot of young people are attracted to it. Even the non-cricket fans are attracted to 2020 format.
I'm hoping to bring in some non-cricket fans with this interview that I'm having here, just explain the sport. So, my question to you, what inspired you to play cricket? What inspired you to start it?
Well, as a young boy growing up in Five Islands, the village where I was born, every young boy played cricket and football. We had 2 major seasons. We would play cricket from January until August, and then September to December we play football.
Football as in
soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Just to let people know, there's a difference. There's a difference between.
We're influenced by the British, so we use all the British terms. So soccer, and soccer was actually my first love. But I saw an opportunity in cricket when I was about 9. There was a very important match going on, and everybody in the village stopped doing whatever they were doing. They stopped working, and they were like glued to the chances to really listen to Australia play a match against Australia in Australia. And I said to myself, why are these people so excited about this match? And then suddenly I realized that how important that cricket was to people. And I said, I'd like to be like these players one day. And I started taking the game really, really, really serious. Started training hard and practicing longer hours. And start studying the game, reading up on a lot of great names like Sobers, Hall, Griffith, Kanai. And these guys inspired me to want to play for the West Indies. Went to the village where I'm from, Five, and at the time we weren't playing with the proper cricket ball, so we had to improvise with a tennis ball. So. And then when I started secondary school in 1974, started playing with a proper ball, and that's when I started making headways. And then played for my school and combined schools, and I got picked for trials for Antigua. I think 15 or 16. And that same year I made the Antigua team at 16. And then the next year, played a couple more years for Antigua, and I got selected for the Leeward Islands. And that's when I was exposed to West Indies cricket. And after playing 2 seasons for the West Indies, I got selected for the West Indies in 1983.
So my question on, you mentioned the Leeward Islands. That team, was that comprised of? That's comprised of more than just Antigua.
Yeah, the Leeward Islands comprised at the time of Antigua, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat. Now the British Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands, and St. Martin. is now part of the Leeward Islands Cricket Association. And once you play, they have what they call the Leeward Islands tournament. And if you do well enough in that, you get selected for the Leeward Islands, who plays in the national competition. And then that's where you get selected to play for the West Indies. You're playing against Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, the Leeward Islands, and Guyana. And from there, if you do well enough, you get selected for the West Indies, and you're exposed to the world.
My question to you on the cricket front, what would you say would be the largest achievement of your career, the big epic moment of your career as far as the game of cricket is concerned?
Well, personally, I think when I was in 1991, I was at the peak of my career, scoring lots of runs. I was the #1 batsman in the world at the time. And unexpectedly, I was offered the captaincy of the West Indies team. First, it came to me as a shock because I never thought of being captain of the West Indies at the time. I think I was maybe 30 or so, 31 or 30, and I just never expected that I would be captain, especially being so young. Usually the captaincy is given to a more mature player. And so when that was offered, I thought it was a great honor to ask me to captain the West Indies team. So that was probably the biggest moment in terms of personally. Also, when I first got selected, I felt really elated because every young boy aspired to live the West Indies if you get the opportunity. So when I first got selected, I thought that was a very special moment.
So the captain still plays for the team. They still physically.
Oh, the captain is the main man. Yeah, the captain. He's in charge of the team on the field. Then we didn't have coaches, so the captain was like the coach and everything. He did everything. Now you have coach, assistant coaches, fielding coaches. You have support staff, you have statisticians, psychologists, all that kind of stuff. In our time, we didn't have that. Manager, assistant manager, captain, vice captain. The captain and the vice captain didn't want to sort of like manage cricket.
Another question I have to ask you: competition. Who would you say was your competition in cricket? I know there's another guy here, Sir Richards. Would you say that he was your competition, or
no? He wasn't. He was my inspiration. I mean, he came before me as a player. He's the greatest player who ever lived, in my opinion. And because of him, I believe he opened the door for myself and other Antiguans to make it. Because before my time, it was very difficult for players from the small islands to get a chance to move to West Indies. They just didn't recognize us, even though we were very, very good politics. So after they made it and they did so well, he shook the world. He's still probably the most famous cricketer ever. And he inspired me, and I actually took over the captaincy from him. So, and I learned a lot from him. So I will not say that there was any competition where he was concerned.
So there was no kind of competition at all. You were just playing the game and enjoying the game.
Yeah, okay. There are players around you that you have to compete with. There are lots of other players, young players, same age as me, who I had to compete with. There were also a lot of players who were, in my opinion, much more talented than I was. But I was very, very determined. Work hard, study hard, and always try to do well at the right time. That's very crucial. You got to perform at the right time. At crucial times, when you know that there's an opportunity, you got to make sure you impress the selectors, impress people, stop your target.
So there was no competition among your fellow players. What about country-wise?
Well, there were competition, but with other players, as I mentioned, and there were competition with other players. As a matter of fact, before I played, I looked at all the players we had in the region, and I said it's going to be very difficult for me to get selected because of the wealth of talent we had in the Caribbean at the time. The team was doing well, and then they had a situation where a number of players were invited to go and play in South Africa, and at the time South Africa was banned because of the apartheid regime that was in control. And they offered big money for players to go play in South Africa. And some of our players went, and they were banned. And I said to myself, this is actually what I want.
Is it like, was that kind of like a rivalry that was going on, or?
No, I mean, what happened, I don't know if you're aware, but South Africa was a racist country. And black people weren't allowed to, the privileges that white people had. And because of that, the cricket authorities, International Cricket Authority, banned all sports were banned. So that was banned from all international sports. But still, they wanted people to go and play in their country. They had a lot of money. So that the government approved by our top players, and some refused. So they was one of those who refused. But some went. And that left a little gap in the Western cricket, and I said to myself, that's what I want. There were some really, really good players. Perhaps if that didn't happen, maybe I might have made it because there's so many really, really talented players.
So you had to.
Yeah, but I still believe I would have because I was determined. I wanted to play for Western, and I was prepared to do whatever I had to do to play for Western.
Now, next question I have. How did you become the manager, overseeing everything?
Well, I guess I have a business called Richie Richardson Sports and Leisure. I put on sporting events. It's a sports tourism company that invite teams, national teams, and those teams come to play sport. And every year put on international masters programs. And I guess based on what the board has seen me do in that business in terms of managing whole tournament involving international teams from all over the world and stuff like that, they thought maybe I had some sort of like management skill. And also my experience as a cricket, and I also qualified cricket coach. So they thought that, crisis that the team is going through, that I would be a good person to assist, not only from a manager perspective, but from the coaching perspective. That's how I think, I don't know if they had a name.
I noticed there's some places in town that are named after you, like part of the recreation grounds where I went there to watch the carnival performances. I've seen a certain section was named after you. So is that section is the only thing that's named after you, or is there other places within City of St. John's, Antigua?
No, I think that's the only thing. I know that the road going on the 5 Islands where I'm from, that's going to be named after me as well. I know it's a great honor when they do things like that, because it's important to preserve certain legacies, and if you don't do certain things, then people in time to come, people would not know of certain people. So I think it's a good thing to do that. Not for my sake, because I don't really need that, but then for young cricketers in the future, they'll be able to see that and ask, why is that? And the prompt people to explain to them who that person was. And so it's good for the further development of the game.
So you left a good legacy behind.
Yeah, and I would like to think so. I think that is good.
So for our viewers out there on YouTube, where in Antigua can we go to pick up a good cricket game? Where are the hot spots?
Well, right now, the cricket season is finished. Right? Usually Carnival signals the end of the cricket season and the start of the football season. So now people are now beginning to start preparing for soccer. you would say. So I don't think we'll be able to get any cricket matches at this time. You know, so for the cricket, as I said before, is like between January and August. So they just had the last tournament. The last tournament usually is July, August, and then into Carnival. But in other islands, it's pretty going on. Matter of fact, I think there is a female tournament going on somewhere in Trinidad, and there also might be a youth tournament going on in Ghana. But in Antigua, cricket is between January and August.
Well, just to let you know, people, you heard from the man right here. January through August. That's when you can come to Antigua and catch the big exclusive cricket games. So I guess I'm out of luck if I'm going to see a game now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come back. I'll tell you what. Next year we're having Australia.
Yeah.
It's one of the most popular teams in the world. They're coming, I think, in May.
Yeah.
And then we go to England for a couple of months. And then in July, August, New Zealand are coming back to the Caribbean. So you can check that, you know, and plan to come again. I think it's probably more exciting if you came to see the Australians, because they're very excited about this. So you can check the calendar sometime in May. So check us out.
Alright, so you heard it from the man right here, Richie Richardson. I'd like to thank you for this interview. It's been a pleasure interviewing you. And stay tuned, there will be more videos of Antigua on the way on the YouTube page. I'm giving the 268 full exposure. And it's not just the carnival, folks, that I'm exploring all different aspects of Antigua. Right now we have the sports aspect of the thing. So thank you, Mr. Richie Richardson.
Cool, huh?
Alright, and we're going to conclude this interview because we're about to get something to eat and the food's on the way. So stay tuned. Go to www.youtube.com/N.M.E.I Massive. That's new Mastermind Epic Massive. That's N as in new, M as in Mastermind, E as in Epic Massive, all one word. N.M.E.M.A.S.S.I.V.E. Alright, so conclude this interview and we're out. Enjoy your day, folks.